Today's video is going to be on tactics. It is a daylight drop, and we will explain why it's a daylight drop. If you watch our videos, you know that we're very much against daylight drops. It's hard on the hogs, hard on the traps, hard on everything. The reason we're doing a daylight drop here is because we've got two boars that are using the same trap, which happens a lot. Generally, we try to get them to join up. We got one that comes in around 2 a.m. We got one that comes in right before daylight. Cannot get them to join. Trap is due for maintenance in about 2 days. We can stretch that maintenance out a couple days past that, but not too much. And so went ahead and took the one that came in. He came in actually this morning, just a little after daylight. Tactics are the same as far as when we approach the trap, gate side, sneak through the woods, all the above. Do not like doing this. It's just a hard operation all the way around. We're still going to sneak in. We're going to take a 12 gauge just due to some thick woods in there. 12 gauge 22. If you've seen any of our other videos, that's pretty much normally what would do that, or a bolt 44. But in this particular case, 12 gauge 22, sneak in and do our best to slip right up to the trap, and then kind of like just boom, go in and engage real quick, take him out before he has the ability to do a lot of damage and hurt himself. So, getting pretty warm already today, but everything's loaded up, went ahead and got everything going so we can do our maintenance. So, am I in a hurry? Yeah, I'm in a hurry. I want to go ahead and just get this over with. Good news is it's not far from our shop here, and so not too much of a drive, and we're going to head that direction and knock it out. So, here we go. All right, so we're on property. Got a little road down here through the woods, and then we're going to park and cut through some pretty thick what we call unmanicured planted pines that need some love. They need to be thinned, but it's thick. Good place for hogs. If you've never trapped hogs, at all, and then you trap in the daytime and you think that's how it is, and then one time you trap in the nighttime, and then you see a completely different version. So that's why we're so much against trapping in the daytimes, because we know both versions, and the nighttime version is just so much easier on everything. The daytime is just a mess. It really is. There's no element of surprise sneaking up to the trap, and it's not humane in our opinion. And most people are like, well, why do you care? It's not like you're taking the hog someplace and I don't know, taking them to a happy place. But again, if you've seen suffering in your life, and most of us with a little bit of age on us have seen suffering of many varying degrees, I don't want nothing to suffer. I just don't anymore. I've seen enough, and so it's kind of like, nighttime is just smoother and quicker. They're just easier to put down, and so there you go. So we're going to jump out here, grab the 22, try to get a little footage, slipping through this thick stuff here. These pines need to be thinned. They need to be burned, control burning, and you won't have all this thick underbrush growing. I mean, it's really hard to slip through stuff like this. So anyway, so we're gonna give it a shot, and hang on. All right, as you can see, planted pines for you that aren't from the South, and if you burn like you're supposed to, prescribed burning, then a lot of these little pop-up non-pine trees would not be here. So for our gun people out there, we're running a EOTech on a 1022 Ruger, and this is, if I can talk, this stock is actually made by Choke Machine and Tool in Arkansas. So most of the people we mention, that the products we use, we don't know them, or we know who they are. But we do know who Fred Choate is. He's a very good personal friend of our family's. Phenomenal man, met him probably 25 years ago. Small family business in Arkansas. They make all kinds of aftermarket stuff for rifles, shotguns. Choate, kind of an odd word for coming from a guy with a last name like mine, but Choate Machine and Tool. Look them up. And we're getting ready to put a Choate Machine and Tool stock on our nighttime 22s. And so anyway, I am getting tore up by mosquitoes, and I'm going to keep heading that direction. So that's the trap right there. But we're going to try to ease down through these woods so we can come up to the gate side. I think he's bedded down right now, because I haven't seen any movement from him. So the wind's blowing right in our face. This is why we're coming in at this angle. You can see we're running a 4-leg on-time feeder. This is a live video system, but we had to boost it. It's in a hole. Cell service is horrible on this property, but with the booster antenna, we were able to get the live video to work. So, hang on. All right, so the trap is right that direction. We're just sneaking down this little swampy creek bed right now. That's why we put the trap down here, because there's always water. We ain't had any decent rain. Probably a couple weeks, but still got plenty of water. I haven't heard anything from him. So trap location is a big deal, because they feel comfortable down here. Anytime you can snake through water, you're better off than snaking through land. You gotta worry about crunching leaves. So you can see right here. That's probably where he came through this morning. Pushed all that foliage down. Hey, fella. Hey, fella. So this particular boar, there's two. One had was dark. This one has like stripes in it. Unusual. So he never hit a panel. So he was starting to get cranked up, came straight at me and shot him just a tad above the eyeballs if you know where to aim. And EOTech does a great job. You're not trying to find all that iron and scope hairs. Just look for that EOTech. So anyway, all right. So you'll see what we got here. 12 panel Jagger Pro. 4-legged on-time feeder. Live video camera with a booster antenna. You have to dial that directional booster antenna towards the cell tower that you know of nearby. And you can kind of turn it and then check the SQ rating. If you buy one, you'll understand all this. If not, you just call us, man. We'll walk you through it. Not the newest gate, but not the oldest gate. You can see it's got one of our modifications on it to protect that from coons stepping on it and they'll trip your gate. Ice camera doesn't need a booster, so it's working pretty good right there. But neat spot, really neat spot. You can see it's a swampy mess. And then we've got crop fields up there, and we've got crop fields up there, and then we got crop fields up there. So we're kind of down off here in a hole. So hopefully that's a little good example of, wind direction is this direction. So that's how we approach the trap. We cut down through those planted pines. We got down to a lower point and got in some water where we could sneak good. Also, we're looking for that second boar. I doubt he's anywhere near here. He was here at 2 a.m. And this guy just likes to come in after that. He might be a subordinate boar. We don't know the social issues there. But typically, if you've got a group of hogs or single hogs, try to take the one closest to daylight because most likely that other one is somewhere else. Now, are we going to send it up today? Yes, we are. Am I concerned about him and his blood? No, I'm not concerned about that. The issue with the hog, that other hog, is going to be this right here. That's going to be me sweating, my sweaty hands touching everything. I got rubber boots on. We're going to go ahead and knock our maintenance out. Go ahead and get it out, just get it done. We got to be here anyway in a couple of days. Knock our maintenance out. You can almost drive right to this trap, but as you see that we don't do that. The reason I zoomed in on him with them leaves moving was that's actually his breathing. Okay, so the immediate thing they're going to do is they're smart. They know they got to cool that body down. So they're going to dig them a little hole, root up a little hole. They're going to lay in it and they're going to start their breathing and start to cool down. They know they got to keep that body temperature down. That's why in these daytime drops, you got to get there quick and put them down quick. They can't take the heat. They just can't. They're going to be somewhere like this junk back here laid up during the day. Just laid up. And, years ago when we had hogs on our farm, that's how I took out the majority of the hogs. We square trap, trigger trap, all that junk, outdated garbage. But that's all we had back then, 25 years ago. I would sneak up on them like that, work the wind, get in these wet holes, put on hip waders, and right there, be right on top of them and drill them. Very seldom did we trap many hogs. We figured out something was wrong because we were always trapping babies and not adults. And then we figured out how to sneak up to our little square traps and the adults will be on the outside, and we'd take them out, you know, and then take care of the babies. But kind of give you an idea. I mean, you can slip up on them. You just got to take your time, and then put them down before they get too amped up. Once I saw him starting to get fired up, it's going to get ugly quick. It took one shot. He was down. He's done. We'll get some footage of him and go on from there. So hopefully you enjoyed it. It is a beautiful day here in South Georgia. It's going to get warm today, but an absolutely beautiful day. Beautiful way to start a day off. I just wish it was about 3 a.m. and not all daylighty right now. So hang on. Here we go. So it is a 12-panel Jaeger Pro live video system running the not the newest gate, not the oldest gate. We got our little add-on here that we like to put on these types of gates. Just keeps any squirrels, coons, typically from hitting this, dropping your gate accidentally. So there's our little boar. It said little cutters on him. I want to tell you, little boar. He's got some unusual markings, like I said earlier, some stripes on him. He's got the start of some cutters, but nothing huge. So, 4-leg on-time feeder, our little varmint guard system we came up with, and then we're running a directional booster antenna directed towards the nearest town. So we're getting some halfway decent cell service here because of the booster. Live video, we couldn't get it to work unless we boosted it. And you kind of see how we got it designed. It is a oval shape, which is our preferred shaping system. So you'll see what he was doing over here was he knew to get under in the shade, and then he just dug him a little hole. A lot of times people will see that and be like, oh, they're trying to dig out. In our opinion, they're not. He's just trying to find him a place where he can lay and get cool. So his head was laying right here, and what he was laying against was this. And that's what I picked up on from down in there, was I was seeing that. No other leaves up here were moving, and his breathing was doing that, his respiration. So kind of interesting when you start looking at things like that, especially when you're sneaking up on a trap and you're like, crap, where is he? I know he's in there. So that's what we snuck through to get down here. As I said, there's a little road we can kind of get down in here. So we're going to walk back and get to Tacoma and get down here as close as we can and go ahead and do our maintenance. All right, we got our maintenance done. A couple of questions that you might have. Since we know there's another boar in the area, what do we do? Well, one, we're not being quiet. I was actually playing music on my phone. I want that hog. We probably ain't far because there ain't a lot of woods here. We're surrounded by crop fields. Him to think that it's a farmer down here, it's somebody jacking around on a side-by-side, whatever. It is what it is. We're not going to throw corn outside the trap. He's already been in here. We don't need, once they come in, don't throw any corn outside the trap. Just please don't do that. If he does, he might come in and go, yeah, I don't like the smell. This smell right here, all this junk. You know, give it a couple of days. He'll probably come back. The neat part about this property is that it's typically not hunted, this little tract of woods. So during deer season, we will get a migratory push of hogs to this property. Now, the unfortunate part is, believe it or not, that is the first hog we've ever trapped on this property. And it has been very frustrating here. We've had the opportunity to trap hogs, but not a group. We don't ever want to feel pressured to show numbers. And our society's great about numbers. I don't care what profession you're in. You know, blah, blah, blah. What are the numbers? We don't want to be under that. We are trying to trap intelligently, so 5 years from now, we're not making smarter and smarter hogs. So this is, hoorah, our first hog on this property. We've had other opportunities to drop, we just never did. But this is our first one. Once deer season kicks off, hogs will come to this area. Okay, so tactically what we're looking at now is more corn on the ground. One thing you have to think about when you're running 365, 7 days a week on these trap systems is that how much corn do you need to push? This particular trap has an overabundance of raccoons. Not our friends, but it is what it is. So this trap pushes a lot of corn because we have to keep up with the raccoon consumption. other properties deer consumption, other properties squirrel consumption. It's all part of it, because if there's not corn on the ground, the hogs will come in and go, yeah, whatever. This used to be something, it ain't. Let's move on. We're going to go to the next track. So this feeder pushes twice a day, like all of our feeders, but it pushes harder twice a day. And we also left them a good little reserve on the ground. I got to put a wiggle in it. The boss just texted me and said that we have a Zoom call on one of our other projects. And when I retired, I'd hoped that I'd never hear the word Zoom call. That's 2 words. I'd never hear the word conference room. That's 1 word, 2 words. And I would never hear the word, 1 word, email. I have a whole list of words I thought I would never hear, but unfortunately in our society, you can't escape that. I'd just rather be out here in the woods, nobody bothering me, let me do my thing, take a picture, send it to the landowner, and go to the house. So, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope it's a little educational. Tactics in the daytime, kind of the same as the nighttime, as far as approach and things like that. Again, we're not worried about noise here. We want him to think that it's just somebody doing something. There may be a recovery period for this hog. He'll come back and not want nothing to do with it, and that's totally understandable, and we're good with that. The system is ready and charged for another 30 days of running, and so we don't need to be back in it. So with that being said, y'all have a great day. Feedback, support, comments, all the above. Y'all take care, and I'm hitting the big red button.